Imagine a vast bucket of water suspended high in the sky, seemingly bottomless and brimming with potential energy. Suddenly, without much warning, it's tipping and releasing its contents in a single immense cascade of water. A deluge unlike any other. This is a cloudburst, a dramatic and often devastating weather phenomenon. It's an extraordinary deluge, a torrential downpour concentrated in a small geographical area and occurring over a very short period of time. Officially, according to meteorological standards, if over 100 millimeters of rain falls on just 20 to 30 square kilometers, a relatively tiny area within a single hour, then, by definition, it qualifies as a cloudburst. Unlike gentle soaking rains that nourish the land, cloudbursts are violent, overwhelming forces of nature, and they can turn calm, peaceful landscapes into scenes of utter chaos in a matter of minutes. The clouds responsible for these events are towering cumulonimbus formations. Truly giant storm clouds that often bring with them intense thunderstorms, flashes of lightning, and even hail. Sometimes, specific atmospheric conditions trap an immense amount of moisture within these clouds until a trigger, such as a sudden shift in wind direction or air pressure, suddenly releases all that accumulated water at once, unleashing the cloudburst. While cloudbursts can theoretically happen in almost any geographical location around the world, they are by far most common in mountainous regions and terrains. The combination of steep mountain slopes and deep, narrow valleys, in places like the majestic Himalayas, creates the perfect geographical stage and atmospheric conditions for these dramatic and sometimes devastating weather events to unfold. Here, in these towering landscapes, the mountains don't just passively witness the weather as it passes by. They actively participate in its creation, influencing weather patterns in profound ways. In these high-altitude realms, where the air is thin and the weather is unpredictable, even the most serene and peaceful valleys can quickly become channels for raging torrents of water, mud, and debris, transforming in mere moments into destructive flash floods. Cloudbursts serve as a powerful and humbling reminder of the sheer intensity and raw power of nature. Therefore, understanding the dynamics of cloudbursts is not just an academic exercise. It's the very first and most crucial step towards respecting their force and mitigating their potential impact on vulnerable communities. Himachal Pradesh, a land celebrated for its breathtaking mountains and the deep, verdant valleys that carve through them, a place where nature's grandeur is on full display, is a region profoundly shaped by extremes, where the beauty and the danger coexist in a delicate balance. Its complex topography, characterized by steep, unforgiving slopes and the narrow valleys that snake between them, creates a unique and challenging environment. This intricate landscape makes it especially vulnerable to the sudden and devastating impact of cloudbursts. As the moist monsoon winds begin their annual arrival, laden with the promise of rain, they're relentlessly forced to climb the towering mountains, a phenomenon that sets off a chain of weather events. This upward movement triggers intense rainfall, often torrential, as the air cools and releases its moisture. This process, scientifically known as orographic lift, is the primary engine driving much of the region's complex and often unpredictable weather patterns. The valleys, carved by centuries of erosion, act as natural funnels, effectively concentrating moisture and, unfortunately, amplifying the intensity of storms that pass through. A cloud system that, under different circumstances, might have gently spread out and dissipated harmlessly over a vast plain, instead becomes squeezed and compressed into a relatively small area, dramatically increasing the potential and the risk of a devastating cloudburst. The very orientation of the imposing mountain ranges plays a crucial role in this volatile equation. During the monsoon season, the powerful winds originating from the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea converge, creating a formidable weather system. These moisture-laden winds relentlessly slam into the towering barrier of the Himalayas, where they are violently forced upward in a dramatic and often destructive confrontation. The southern slopes of the majestic Dhauladhar range, along with those of the rugged Pir Panjal ranges, directly face the brunt and the full force of these relentless monsoon winds. This direct and unavoidable clash of weather systems creates the perfect, albeit dangerous, conditions for the rapid formation of dense cloud cover and the subsequent unleashing of intense, highly localized rainfall. The very beauty and allure of Himachal's breathtaking landscape is intrinsically linked to what makes it so tragically susceptible to the unpredictable fury of nature. Here, the forces of geography and the volatile nature of weather are perpetually locked in a constant, powerful, and often precarious dance. And sometimes, with devastating consequences, that intricate dance turns deadly, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. The Indian summer monsoon is a colossal force, a weather phenomenon that shapes the lives and landscapes of the Indian subcontinent. It's a seasonal shift unlike any other, a dramatic transformation that brings both life and potential devastation. It is responsible for bringing life-giving rain to the subcontinent, quenching the thirst of the land and sustaining its people. From June to September, the monsoon season unfolds, marking a crucial period for agriculture and the overall ecosystem. During these months, warm, moist air flows relentlessly from the Indian Ocean, driven by complex atmospheric patterns. This moisture-laden air surges toward the formidable barrier of the Himalayas. In Himachal Pradesh, the monsoon works its magic, transforming dry, parched landscapes into a vibrant tapestry of lush green vegetation. However, this transformation also brings with it a significant element of risk, a reminder of the monsoon's dual nature. As this massive river of air, saturated with moisture, collides with the imposing mountains, it is forced to ascend rapidly, rising along the slopes and inevitably cooling as it gains altitude. This cooling process is critical, as cooler air has a diminished capacity to hold moisture. Consequently, the water vapor within the air begins to condense, transforming into visible clouds. This process occurs rapidly and intensely, especially given the steep and rugged terrain of Himachal. The result is the formation of heavy, moisture-laden clouds, pregnant with the potential for intense rainfall. The mountains act as a natural wringer, effectively squeezing the moisture from the relentless monsoon winds. This creates a perfect recipe, a confluence of factors that leads to extreme and often unpredictable rainfall patterns. The atmosphere, charged with energy, becomes increasingly unstable. It transforms into a volatile cauldron of rising air currents and rapidly condensing moisture, a recipe for dramatic weather events. Usually, under these conditions, this translates to sustained and consistent rainfall. This steady rain is essential, as it nourishes the rivers that flow through the region and sustains the lush forests that blanket the landscape. But sometimes, these highly volatile conditions can trigger something far more violent and destructive. This can lead to a sudden, explosive, and localized downpour known as a cloudburst. In Himachal Pradesh, the monsoon's life-giving blessing, so eagerly anticipated, can quickly and unexpectedly transform into a devastating curse, leaving behind a trail of destruction. The very same forces that bring life and sustenance to the land are also capable of unleashing immense destruction, reshaping the landscape and impacting communities. It's a delicate balance, a precarious equilibrium between benefit and risk. And it's a balance that's all too easily tipped, often with devastating consequences. A cloudburst begins inside a towering cumulonimbus cloud, vertical giants filled with turbulent air. Powerful updrafts carry moisture high, where it cools and condenses into water droplets and ice. In Himachal's steep terrain, these updrafts can become exceptionally strong and localized. Sometimes, the cloud gets trapped against a mountainside, unable to move on. The storm cell becomes stationary, fed by moist air from below. Water droplets grow larger, suspended by the updraft, until the weight becomes too much. When the updraft weakens or the water load grows too heavy, the cloud's structure collapses. Suddenly, the entire water content is released in a catastrophic downpour. It's not gradual rain, it's a waterfall from the sky. The rainfall rate is astronomical, overwhelming the land in seconds. This is why cloudbursts are so destructive, a concentrated, high-velocity deluge that transforms the landscape instantly. In moments, disaster unfolds. When a cloudburst strikes, the ground is instantly overwhelmed. Water rushes downhill, unable to soak in, turning into powerful flash floods. These torrents gather soil, rocks, and trees, gaining destructive force with every meter. On Himachal's steep slopes, gravity accelerates the chaos. The flood becomes a debris flow, a churning mix of water, mud and boulders, unstoppable and devastating. Roads and bridges are swept away, cutting off villages and plunging regions into isolation. Communication lines fail, and power grids collapse. For those in the path, there's little warning, just a distant rumble, then a deafening roar. Homes near streams or on valley floors are especially vulnerable, often obliterated in seconds. The speed is terrifying. A peaceful valley becomes a disaster zone in minutes. Survivors are left in shock, facing a transformed, devastated landscape. The aftermath is chaos, loss, and the daunting task of recovery. Himachal Pradesh has seen a surge in devastating cloudbursts in recent years. In 2023, districts like Shimla Mandi Kullu and Solan faced catastrophic events. In Solan's Jaden village, a cloudburst triggered a deadly landslide, burying homes and families. Mandi's Sambal area saw flash floods sweep away houses, vehicles and farmland. The national highway was severed, stranding thousands. Even Shimla's urban areas weren't spared. A cloudburst caused a landslide that destroyed a temple and claimed lives. These disasters highlight the growing risks from unplanned development and climate change. Each event is a stark reminder the threat is real, and it's increasing. The toll of a cloudburst goes far beyond immediate destruction. Survivors face deep psychological trauma and loss of livelihoods. Farmers lose land buried under debris, and rebuilding infrastructure is a monumental challenge. Tourism, vital to Himachal's economy, suffers as roads close and fear spreads. The environmental damage is severe: massive soil erosion, degraded forests, and rivers choked with debris. Landslides destroy forests that stabilize slopes, making future disasters more likely. Human activities, unplanned construction, deforestation, worsen the problem, weakening the land's natural defenses. When a cloudburst hits, already fragile slopes are more likely to fail. We are, in part, contributing to our own vulnerability. The scars on people and the land can last for generations. Living with the threat of cloudbursts demands a culture of preparedness. Early warning systems, using Doppler radar and weather stations, are vital for timely alerts. Community education is key. People must know the warning signs and evacuation routes. Regular drills and local disaster teams can save lives. Wise land use planning is essential. No building on unstable slopes or near rivers. Enforcing building codes and restoring forests strengthens natural defenses. Families should keep emergency kits and know how to cut off utilities. Self-sufficiency for the first 72 hours after disaster is crucial. By combining government action, community awareness, and personal readiness, we can reduce the risks. The story of cloudbursts in Himachal is a dramatic dance between land and sky. The same mountains that inspire awe also create the perfect conditions for disaster. Cloudbursts are not just rain, they're sudden catastrophic releases of water that reshape lives and landscapes. Recent tragedies remind us of our vulnerability and the urgent need for respect and preparedness. But this isn't a story of hopelessness. By understanding the science, improving warnings, and respecting the land, we can adapt and survive. Living in harmony with the mountains is our challenge and our responsibility. With knowledge and caution, we can continue to draw inspiration from these magnificent peaks, while staying safe beneath their tempestuous skies. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our channel for more insightful content.